It's the Digital Board Gamer here with our week in review from the April 28th to May the 2nd. We have 2 full releases to look at today and 3 betas and 1 expansion to check out. So first up on Monday, we had Paper World. Paper World's a card or tile placing game. Paper World is a new game 2025. I think it was just released when it went live on BGA. 2 to 4 players, voted best with 3 so far, and it's a fairly light game. The biggest thing with Paper World is the mechanism of how you grab cards or play cards. You can either grab all of one color or all of one number. And then you're basically trying to build out a 3x3 grid, so 9 cards on your table. You're going to follow some of these goals at the top here for points. But say here you can grab both blacks, or you could grab the 2s or the 4s. There's a card distribution list at the bottom, so you can see that in at least a 2-player game, there's only 1, 5, and so on. Then you're trying to start from 1 and work the cards up. So if I have the 2 and the 3 in my hand of blue, I could then play the 2 and the 3 on top of this 1 and level it up. Here, he started with a 1, and then it went 2, 3, and a 4. There are ways of skipping numbers. If you have this scissor here on one of your cards, you can skip numbers for free, or you can always discard a card to skip a number. So I can go from 1 here to 3. And that's the general gist of it. Then you're scoring points on the cards, and the scissors give you some bonus, and then, of course, the goals here. Overall, I ranked Paper World at a 6. I think it's fine. It's not a terrible game, but it's definitely a little too light, a little too random for me, I think. A game not so light and random is The White Castle, a very popular award-winning game that's a worker placement game. This game came out 2 years ago, very well rated with 8.0. It's actually within the BGG's top 100. It's voted best with 3, and you can see the weight is a lot higher there at 3. I currently have it rated a 9, which is well deserved. So in White Castle, you're going to be drafting dice over here. You have the option of the lower and the higher of the rolls. If you choose the lower, you actually get these little bonus things here. And then depending on what cards you have here is the lantern bonus that you will get. You will then the main goal is to start placing down workers here. There are 3 different workers. They go either down here in the farm, on the castle, or samurai warriors out here. And then you're going to score multiple ways of scoring points, but it is a big puzzle. There's no luck, or if there's luck, there's very little luck that's involved in this game. And it does change quite a bit from game to game. This is a game where you have to try to get really big combos. The one great thing about this game is it's awesome turn-based. There's only 9 total actions in this game, so it plays pretty quick. I almost think this is better turn-based than live because you don't have to sit there and wait for your opponent to try to figure out what action they're going to do. I love it turn-based because I can try some things, I can restart my turn, and so on. So if you like turn-based games and haven't played this yet, that's really worth your time. It is hard to play though. Even though the rules are easy, to actually play well is pretty difficult. I've played 6 or 7 times against the AI in the easy mode, and I finally beat it on easy. So don't expect to win the first few games. It's definitely going to take you a while to learn it. Alright, then we have 3 beta games to check out. First is Blast Radius. Blast Radius is a abstract strategy game. I think the designer said it's kind of like a war-ish feel is what he wanted to do. I do kind of recommend this real time. I don't think this played really well at all in turn-based. The reason why it doesn't play well in turn-based is because your turns are so simple, and then you're done waiting for your opponent to go next. So it's possible, it's just not as good as real time for sure. Alright, during your turn, you're just going to be simply placing a piece. If you have any open, white space here, you have to place a level 1 little tower. And then once all of the areas are filled, you then will start placing level 2 towers on top of your level 1s. But if there's ever an open white space, you have to play a level 1 first. Now that the board is totally full, you'll see you're going to start upgrading level 1s to 2s. When you do that, your area expands and you remove any towers that you touch, either your own or your opponent's. So there, that 2 took away all those. Now there's 2 white spots here, so my opponent has to place a 1 tower down here. And then I will upgrade a 1 to 2 and remove those. You keep playing until one player has a tower that controls all the area. One thing this game does well is there is a automated thing where if my opponent has no options other than placing in this spot, it'll just do it for them, and then I'll get to play my turn again. So that is good. But like I said, it's a lot of turns and not a whole lot of thinking or action. Sometimes it's space 1 or space 2 and they're right next to each other. So there's not a whole lot of choice. It's just clicking and then moving on. So, but if you like abstract strategies, you want to check it out, it's there for you. Then we have Contract Bridge, a trick-taking card game. This does have a bidding mechanism in it. I did manage to get one game done. The cool thing about this game is you and the person you're playing against will each have a dummy hand that each of you will be able to see. So you kind of know where cards are at. So when you're playing the traditional trick-taking game, you can see, okay, well, this dummy is going to have to do this, and then my dummy does this. Then my opponent will see what my opponent does. So it's kind of a cool aspect in that case. It's a classic two-player trick-taking game. So if you're a fan of that, there's some bidding there. So we'll see here in a second our scores here from the person that bid. But you can see there's a lot of different scoring, and I'll be honest, I'm not 100% on the scoring to try to describe it to you, but there's a couple instruction manuals out there. But I thought the cool thing was just seeing the dummy hands if you're interested in trick-taking on that aspect. Then lastly, we had Shokuba, I think is how you pronounce it, but it's a very simple card-playing game. It is for 2 to 4 players. It did come out all the way back in 2007, not rated pretty high, but there's only a few ratings, so I'm not sure if this one clearly hasn't been very popular, or the 2007 printing wasn't very popular. All right, so each player gets dealt 3 cards. You'll see they have a number and a gem on them. But the idea behind this is if I want to play my 7, I'm going to take 2 cards or 3 cards. If I play my 7, I'm going to take cards equal to that 7. If you have no play, you can take a card and add it to this pile down here. So there I took a 2, played a 2 and took a 2 and added that to my stack of cards. And there my opponent added the 6 to the center of the table. 7, I played a 7 and took a 7, and so on. If you're able to clear the pile of cards on the table, you do score a gem for doing that. Once all the cards have been dealt, the round ends. Then at the end of the round, you'll see that you score certain gemstones for the players who have the most diamonds, the most emeralds, the most rubies, and so on. And then you'll see here, once a player has at least 11 gems, then it's over, and whoever has the most gems win. Honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of this one. I just don't enjoy lighter card games as much as I do like a White Castle. You see here, to celebrate the Kickstarter, there'll be until the end of May, you can play Earth for free. But I think what's more exciting is if you hit play here, the expansion is now available. So if you are a fan of Earth and you didn't know this, because in my opinion it's hard to find out about new expansions and whatnot coming out, you can now play the expansion for Earth. Expansions are very hit and miss on BGA, so it's cool to see it. Well, that's all I got. In the comments below, why don't you write down your favorite game of the week? Mine easily is White Castle. It wasn't even close. It's the game I played pretty much all weekend to try to learn it better, do a little better solo. So hands down, this has been my favorite of the week. But write down your favorite below. And as always, I've been the Digital Board Gamer. Good luck and have fun.